Say a special good evening to Dr. Kirk Meighoo. A special good evening, sir.
Hello?
Hello, Dr. Meighoo. You are on. Special good evening. Thank you so much for
Hi.
waiting. Yeah, we're getting a feedback. I don't know if you have something on there.
I am on the road right now, so it's hands-free.
Okay, good. All right. I know it's been a very busy day for you.
Yes.
The opposition leader is calling for an apology from Prime Minister Dr. Rowley about statements Dr. Rowley, made over the weekend. And in a press release issued earlier today, Kamala Prasad Visesa said, I want Keith Rowley to know that the lie he told about me yesterday will not stand up in a court of law or the court of public opinion. We're at this juncture again where it seems as though the issue is not being dealt with, but instead there are so many distractions and so many things that seem to want to derail us from where we need to be. What say you about these statements and what it is that the Honorable Opposition Leader has stated?
Well, the opposition leader has said exactly the right thing, we've allowed this kind of slander and mobilang to go on for too long. All these are extremely divisive remarks and false remarks without having, Rowley and others, anybody else who makes these, have to account for it before the courts of law. And I think that's the only way that we have to go now, because we certainly cannot rely on their sense of honor or honesty or anything like that. So it is an absolute disgrace for, once again, this is just like the 2020 campaign, where they just made all sorts of ridiculous accusations about racism, but the party at the time, I was not P.R.O at the time, so I wasn't involved in the discussions at the time, but I believe the party felt that it was best to just leave it alone and ignore it, and the facts would just come out in and of themselves. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, and a false narrative took root. So we just want to make sure that this false narrative does not take root anymore, and that we will take both Keith Rowley and the media who will repeat that slander, and therefore make that slander take root as though it were fact. We would take them to court, the opposition leader.
The opposition leader also stated that she has never in her life never accused one race of committing criminal attacks against another race in our country. She says not lately, not now, and not ever. So
absolutely correct.
Yeah. Now, yesterday, of course, the party celebrated its 34th anniversary. And reading from what it is that was said yesterday by the political leader, she says, in the last 34 years, the UNC has never based its politics on race, color, or creed. But we have cemented it on a mutual love for every single group that makes up this beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you believe that has been clearly and socially defined now?
I think that there has been, just like the false narrative started this weekend, there have been false narratives started from the beginning of the party, right? So that when the party stood for equality and against discrimination, the party was being called racist. It reminds me very much because I was a student at the time when the UNC started in 1989, and I remember the way the media painted the United National Congress, and it reminded me a lot like in the United States when let's say a civil rights organization would stand up for the civil rights of black person, and then people would call them racist because they pointed out discrimination. And that was kind of happening to the UNC. But as the UNC has proven, it's never been a one-size Stokely Carmichael. Eric Williams banned Stokely Carmichael, who later became Kwame Ture. Stokely Carmichael was banned in Trinidad since it was either 69 or 1970. One of the greatest minds and thinkers and activists in the world. One of the greatest men of the African diaspora. A hero to so many, to myself as well. Denied entry into his homeland. And it was Astio Pandey and the UNC administration that lifted that ban, allowed him to come home, and they even paid his medical expenses until his death because he had cancer in the last stages. And I mean, in all sorts of ways, the UNC, what we've stood for is inclusion, because under the P&M, which just sort of extended the colonial regime, because the P&M just wanted to be the new colonial masters. So under the P&M, there was still that exclusion. There was an exclusion of all the different groups that make up Trinidad and Tobago. And so the UNC has always stood for the inclusion of everybody, of every group. So that is what the leader has meant by that.
Well, the political leader also mentioned, she said, and as we look to the future, we know that there's still so much work to be done. Now more than ever, our nation needs the United National Congress. We need to continue fighting for the people, working to build a more just, equitable, and prosperous society for all. When you hear these things from the leader, what do you think when you hear others say that perhaps the party is too weak, the leadership is too weak, it's not ready? What do you say when these things are said to you?
Well, this is again absolutely based on a negative propaganda campaign rather than a look at any facts. Because if we take, as Mr. Pandey said, I love that sometimes you'll be confronted with poll results that turned out to be entirely false. I need to stop listening to polls. I remember the first time the UNC first came to power, well, not to power, election, the first election they contested in 91. The Express and Southern Ryan poll said the NAR would win 20 seats and the P&M would win like 13 to 16 seats, and the UNC might get 3 seats. And it was totally off, totally wrong. And Mr. Pandey said that the only polls that matter are the ones between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on election day. That's the only ones to trust. And so if we look at election data, what you see is an extremely strong party on our side, on the dynamic on the way up, and on the P&M on the way down. If I just, off the top of my head, tell you, in August 2020, not only we got more votes in Trinidad than the P&M. It's in Tobago that the P&M got their votes, but in Trinidad we got the most votes. We got the most votes than we ever got in our history, actually, even more than in 2000 when the UNC won outright by itself. Then also we took Moruga from the P&M. The P&M also lost about 60,000 votes in that 2020 election. And so now if we move forward now to January 2021, then we had 5 by-elections in that month, and the UNC retained all of its seats, but the P&M lost one of them. And in fact, the one it lost was Arima Central. That was no marginal seat. That was a seat held by the former mayor. She is MP right now for Deputy O'Meara,
right.
And she's a minister. And they campaigned heavily in that seat, which was a P&M safe seat. And the UNC took that away from them. And in fact, in August 2020, we were only 2,600 votes away from government in just 2 seats, St. Joseph and San Fernando West. And I am certain that since that time, we have gained far more than 2,600 votes, and the PNM have lost 2,600 votes in those same two seats. We are definitely on the trajectory moving forward.
All right.
And as you see, even on the PNM Founding Day, what are they doing? They are just responding to our talking point. We are leading the national conversation. Keith Riley is they're always on the back foot because they have to respond to us because we are showing the country what the real issues are, and the PNM are always being put on the back foot. We are on the move. We are going forward, and we are directing the narrative.
Well, final question, Dr. Meighoo.
Sure.
So if the bell rings tomorrow, next week, anytime in the near future, is the United National Congress ready to get into government?
Absolutely ready. Absolutely. Well, I am just waiting, chomping at the bit for that. This country needs to be rescued. Every second is 1 second too late. And we are ready to take the reins of power and to save this country from the devastating destruction that has been going on in the past 8 years in every sphere of life. But and as was said yesterday, the UNC was made for this very moment.
All right. I want to thank you so much for taking time out to link in with the Observer. Thank you so much. All the best to you and your team, and we'll be checking in with you periodically.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.